All right. Hey, guys, welcome back to howtobuycrypto.com. My name is Marco, and as we're getting into this, I'm just going to give it a couple of moments to find out if we're going live or not, and make sure that everybody's able to see and hear what's going on. I think we are live. I'm checking it here on my phone to make sure, but quickly, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for, being hanging with me as I've been working last night and these last couple of nights with my job out at Freeport, anchoring ships and doing things. You know what? I can just go ahead and come over here. I want to give a couple of shout outs to some of the subscribers and commenters and, contributors to the channel. Thank you, Mark, Greenlight, Cal. I'm just going to say Cal. That's kind of hard to say. I don't want to mess that up. Dr. Paul, Collie, Doug, TKC, and Adam. Thank you all for the ads, for the comments, for the questions. And you can see here, or you can look on the Facebook channel. It says, sometimes I hate my job. I was out, not last night, the night before last, worked all night into the afternoon, and then had church. Basically, slept for a few hours, had church, and then went back to work. And I actually got to sleep all last night. So this is, kind of one of the areas that you see when I'm out at work. So I took a picture there of me hanging out. And anyhow, guys, I'm back in the studio and happy to be with you guys and be able to talk a little bit. And in fact, let me just show you real quick. I'm actually in between jobs right now. I just finished up. We sailed this ship. This is a car ship. And basically they have huge anchor lines. I let this go and set it to sail. And then we got this ship coming in right here that I'm going to have to run. It's another car ship. They're huge. They're like cruise ships basically, and we have to anchor their lines. But anyway, you probably don't really care that much about it. But if you're interested, that's what I do. That's my full-time job, and that's my first job. I got a second job as an associate pastor, and I do videography. Photography is basically a third stream of income, and then I also trade crypto, and that's why I do this channel. So for those of you interested, and those that aren't, you had to listen to it. So anyhow, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for the questions. I wanted to get into a couple of things. We're seeing kind of a holding as Bitcoin pulled back that I mentioned yesterday. And on the news of Bitcoin Cash, I'll go ahead and show you guys an article by Jimmy Song. Here we go. Basically, and I'll try and post a link up here in the show notes after the video. It takes a little bit as it uploads for me to edit the notes, but basically this is a surprise fork that basically they're saying they are going to go through with, which is just annoying. After we came to basically an agreement with SegWit, which is and will continue to go off without a hitch. On August 1st, we'll be seeing steps in that direction. No problem with that. But Bitcoin Cash says, yeah, you know what? We're going to go ahead and throw a wrench in and I'll go ahead and fork anyway, which, it depends on how you look at it. Some people are saying this is, wrong. This is bad for Bitcoin. And obviously the price was affected by this announcement, because anytime you talk about people that are not in agreement, or kind of something that is not certain, guess what? It breeds uncertainty and definitely pushes the market. And as have you seen, if you've been in any time of this market, you see the volatility that it causes because of emotions in this space. And guys, you can see my hard hat hair from working this morning. And anyhow, basically you're gonna, you see what the news can do in the crypto space, and a lot of times it'll negatively affect the market, but on the upside, when these things get worked out, it also positively affects the market. So even though this comes at a time where we were anticipating, where we were talking about a bull flag, a pennant that was in if you looked at the charts, the daily charts, and you could see was forming. We had a pullback because of this news and this uncertainty, and it creates FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt. And people are saying, "Hey, I'm going to take my hands off of Bitcoin and just wait for this to pan out." And that's what happens. So, and Bitcoin leads the industry. So basically, what Bitcoin does, the rest of the pack follows. And so we've got some volatility in the market. We got some pullback in the whole market. So. Basically, now the number 2, Ethereum, also is running into some I guess inquiries from the SEC. And here again, I will try and post the link to this in the show notes. Saying issues investigating the report concluding DAO tokens were securities. So now Ethereum and exchanges are going to be, it sounds like, facing some probing by the Securities and Exchange Commission, or also known as the SEC. And we're going to find out what they feel, whether or not, the Ethereum DAO tokens are securities, and if they should be considered to be controlled by the Securities and Exchange Commission. Now, what it comes down to is every part of crypto has a monetary value attached to it. And so anytime you have a market with a lot of money running through it, there are going to be external entities that are going to want to say, hey, we have a claim to some of this, including the IRS, which was, pressing very hard on Coinbase, including people like the SEC, basically, as Bitcoin was trying to move into the stock market, obviously the ruling bodies there were saying, hey, we can't, because it's not, there's no, way to audit, or not audit, excuse me. There's no oversight is what they were saying. There's no oversight in Bitcoin because, there's no ruling body in Bitcoin. Then they couldn't allow it onto the stock exchange. So as we are going through these growing pains, these entities will all have their say about what they think, crypto is or isn't. And if they say, we think it's negative in this area because you haven't done fill in the blank, X, Y, and Z, then they have to go back and make corrections. Or if they say, you're all good because, we don't want anything to do with you, then the crypto in question, like, when Bitcoin, they said it's unregulated, then Bitcoin is left with the decision, do we form some kind of governance, right? That could be regulated, or like some of the other cryptos are doing with regulation and more centralization because of this. Now, basically, that's not in our hands is what it comes down to. The SEC is going to make their rulings and decide what they're going to decide. The IRS is going to continue to try and make sure that taxpayers are paying their money. That's their job. That's what they do. And so really, so long as you're doing everything above board, if you're reporting your gains like you're supposed to, if you're doing things legitimately, you don't have to worry about these things. The SEC will come out with their guidelines, and then you can, follow suit with, these tokens that are offered on the Ethereum platform. But if not, if you are doing things illegal, then you should, worry about these kinds of things, because basically, it's going to get you in trouble. You're eventually going to get caught, and I don't recommend doing those things. Now, that isn't to say like right now, Coinbase wants better, and not just Coinbase. A lot of crypto users are saying we need better guidance on on taxes. How we're supposed to report these, and that has been a question that I've had as far as guidance for how these trades work. Now, you really need to talk to your own, get your own tax guidance, talk to your own tax guy and CPA, and find out what that means for you and as far as trading, because I can't give you tax advice. Obviously, I'm not an attorney, I'm not a CPA. I can't give that to you, and many of my listeners are all around the US and different parts of the world, so I can't tell you specifically what your governing bodies ask or require on these things. But Basically, comes down to an individual basis. And when the SEC makes a ruling on what they think, these these tokens are, then they will give you guidance on the steps forward. Now, that might change things on the exchanges like Poloniex and Bittrex and some of the exchanges that you use, but they will have to as well update you on the process and what they're doing and where they're going with these things. So, take that as you will and look into it. I will be posting these links. I do think that we are going to see more volatility because of these things, because, the SEC isn't saying bravo to, DAO token holders. They're saying, hey, I think, you need to be paying us. And so people are not going to like that. And I think it's going to negatively affect the price. Bitcoin Cash is saying, hey, we want to fork our coins, and they are definitely not a huge player, not like Bitcoin, not like Ethereum, not like any of the top 10 cryptocurrencies, but because they are using Bitcoin protocols or the code, they can legitimately say, hey, we want a fork. And that's the same with anybody else that uses the code of any other coin. They can say, hey, we want a fork, we want to take our party and go somewhere else. And hey, this is that's a crypto space. People don't always agree on outcomes, and this is what happens. Now, like I said, it's SegWit's still going to happen. We are going to see advancements in the space with Bitcoin. I'm really excited about that. It opens so many doors, fixes some malleability issues with Bitcoin code, and so, man, there's such a bright future for cryptos that if you are able to think long term and not worry about these hiccups, that seem kind of big right now, that will pass over time, guys. If you, I tell you, I pull in those anchor lines, so I have strong hands, and I don't want to let go of my tokens, right? Because I am thinking long term. I am thinking 2020 with the Bitcoin halving, when Bitcoin is going to be more valuable than it is now, and that's all I have to worry about. I don't have to worry about the day-to-day price, and unless you're a day trader, you really don't have to worry about it either. Now, there are some of you that do exchange tokens on a regular basis, so definitely this is something that you have to look into. But overall, guys, accumulation is a legitimate investing strategy. It's part of what I do, and it has gained. I am much better off having accumulated cryptos, like Bitcoin and Ethereum and Litecoin, and I recommend that you do it as well. If you're not in it, guys, I'm doing a course here Sunday at 2 p.m. I'm going to do a live stream, and if you miss it, you can watch it later. It's going to be recorded, and so you can check it afterward. It's $65. I'm going to take you, if you know zero about cryptos, if you have never traded a crypto before, if you've never bought, you never set up an account, you've never used any exchange, I can teach you from start to finish how to buy, how to set up the accounts on the exchanges, how to raise your limit so that you can move larger amounts of money around. And to the strategies in the trading and strategies and investing in the platform, whether you're a day trader, whether you're a long-term accumulation, or you're a method trader, all of these processes, I can teach you how to better understand them, and better methods and ways that I can use these methods to outperform the market. And so I encourage you guys, if you're looking for a way to shortcut this learning curve, I can teach you quite a bit, and I'm excited to share. This is my beta test group, so it's not going to be full price. After Sunday, the price is going to go to $129 for the course, and you guys will also get a consultation. I do consultations at $100 an hour for anybody that is interested, and I am very, excited to work with anyone that's, has questions. And, if you don't need a full hour, we can talk about, an arrangement for any less time than an hour, and figure out what you need. And just, you can email me at marco@howtobuycrypto.com. You can message me on Facebook, facebook.com/myquicktip. And you can join the My Quick Tip Investing group. There's a lot of ways to get a hold of me. I have to actually check and see if this where the ship is at, to see if I'm still. I got to leave here. Okay, I got a little bit of time. But basically, guys, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being a part of the channel and being a part of the community. And I guess I will be talking with you soon. God bless you, and see you later.